Hello and thank you for selecting my video. I've published my video online for you and anyone else interested that wants to see my article about the pot noodles. I'd like to share with you my small article about them. The pot noodle quick snack comes in various flavours and two different sizes. Some flavours, for example, are curry, chicken and mushroom, Bombay bad boy, and that's just to name a few. There are lots more. The two main sizes I came across are the standard size at 90 grams and at 114 grams. To prepare a pot noodle, read the instructions. The method I use to prepare a pot noodle is basically by peeling off the top foil lid, remove the sauce flavoured packet from inside, pour in some hot water. I add enough hot water to cover the noodles, then I wait a few minutes to allow the water to be absorbed by the noodles. Once the sauce packet's open, add the sauce, stir it in, and give everything a good stir, and then eat it. That's the way I basically do it. You may do it whatever way you want. In the next clip, I remove and weigh the contents of the two different sizes of pot noodles. I then compare the prices to work out the prices per gram unit. The flavours that I use are the same in the experiment. Although it doesn't actually say king size, or I can't find where it actually says king size on the one that's got king on it, I just refer to it as king size during the experiment, just for reference basically. There is one important factor to consider regarding this. Looking at the packaging here, it just says king. It doesn't really say king size anywhere. I can't really see where it actually states king size. Which is interesting really, because I just looked at that and it's the bigger of the two. I've heard of the phrase king size before, but it doesn't really actually say king size. So it's just a point worth mentioning. But I do, however, use it as a reference, the word king size, during the experiment. Okay, right, now this is the two sizes of pot noodle. There's the king and there's the standard size. On the king size, it's 114 grams, that's the contents, and 90 grams for the standard size. So I'm going to weigh them basically, I'm going to weigh the contents. It's irrelevant about the actual packaging because depending on the thickness of the, it's not really, it doesn't go by the packaging, it goes by the contents. The weight goes by the contents. So, but just out of interest, that's what it comes in at, 144 grams. And for this one, it'll be 116 grams. So I'm going to remove the contents from both of them, and I'm going to weigh the contents. Now, the bowl weighs 437 grams, beg your pardon. 437 grams is the empty bowl weight. So basically I just subtract this weight from the gross weight when I add the contents in. So I'll start with the small one. I'll get the weight of the contents in there. So I'm basically going to take the contents out of this container, put it into the bowl. The gross weight will show up on the scales. I'll deduct the weight of the bowl from the gross weight. That'll give me the net weight for the contents from this 90 grams pot noodle. And I'll do the same with the 114 grams pot noodle. And I'll actually just see what it comes in it on my scales. Right, so I've got the contents out of this standard size 90 gram pot noodle. This is included as the contents. The actual plastic packet will weigh virtually nothing, so it'll be negligible. So I'm just going to ignore that. I'm just going to weigh it with the way it is there. That's the contents, so I'm going to get the weight. And I say negligible, I mean my scales are not going to be capable of getting the weight of it. So so it's coming in at 532 grams. 532 grams. So subtract the weight of the bowl, the empty bowl, which is 437 grams. That gives a net weight of 95 grams of pot noodle, from what it says, 90 grams in here. Now, like I say, the plastic packet will weigh virtually nothing. My scales wouldn't even be accurate enough to pick it up. So I'm just going to really disregard the extra weight for the packet because it'll weigh next to nothing. But anyway, it's coming in at 95 grams. So I'm going to do the king size pot noodle. Now remember, when you're doing this experiment, the noodles are hygroscopic. It absorbs water. So it's best to do it in a dry environment. Otherwise the pot noodles will just become soiled and start absorbing water. I wouldn't want that. So I'm going to be eating these pot noodles later. So and anyway, I don't want that because, as I say, if it absorbs water, it's going to impair with the weight as well, because obviously it's going to affect it. So I've wrote this down anyway. 90 grams, 95 grams of content. So I'm going to do the king size one now. I'm going to get the contents out of that and get it weighed. Right, so it's coming in at 557 grams. So that's a net weight of 120 grams. So I wrote it in. 114 gram pot noodle, that's the king size one. And it's coming in at that. So the bowl, as you remember, it's 437 grams for the bowl. The gross here is 557 grams, which means the net contents weighs 120 grams. And it's looking like you're getting an extra 5 grams with the standard one in this instance experiment anyway. And for the king size, it looks like it's an extra 6 grams. So I don't know just how much more you're getting, like what you're getting extra, because the chassis for the plastic packet for the mango sauce is the same size. The noodle contents look roughly the same. I've got another bowl that I haven't weighed. It's just I've got the contents of the standard pot noodle poured into another bowl out the way, basically. This bowl wasn't used in the experiment. That's just for pouring the contents into, and then that was taken out the way. This is the same bowl that I used for the experiment, because believe it or not, although the bowls look identical, that one's actually a wee bit lighter. They're cheap bowls, they weren't expensive, so there's not really that accurate. So I used the same bowl, but I just needed this one to put the contents in there, because as I say, I'm going to be eating them later on. They're delicious. So that's what you're getting for the standard size pot noodle, the 90 grams. That's just the amount of noodles, and the rest of it's just powder for the soup or the sauce or whatever. You add the water, and then the rest just turns to the actual sauce or soup or whatever way you call it. So again, the noodle content in this isn't really that much bigger when you compare them. This is out the king size one, so you compare them, there's not a lot of difference really. So it seems like, it's just all powder. That seems to be more powder. I mean, I don't know. There's some broken noodles in there, so, but then again, there is some broken noodles in the 90 gram one as well, standard size one. But certainly by the bulk of it, they look roughly the same. But when you look at the actual containers, there's a vast, considerable distance. I mean, your eye will notice a big difference. You look at them, they look virtually... It's difficult to tell which is bigger and which isn't. But when you look at the containers, there's a vast difference. Vast difference. So, and as for the prices, I'll go through that in a minute. So yeah, going by the prices. So I spent, in my instance, in this case, I spent £1.40 for the king size pot noodle, and 90 pence for the standard size pot noodle. Now, going by the calculations, if you divide it by the grams, the shop, they charge me £1.40 for the king size. So it's got written on the container, 114 grams for the content. So that's equaling 1.22 pence per gram. For the standard size, the smaller one, you're actually getting a better bargain. 90 pence for the standard, in my case, in this instance, equals 1 pence per gram for the contents. In actual fact, with the experiment, well, in this instance anyway, in this particular instance, the king size came in at a little bit more than what they said. It came in at 120 grams, going by my experiment, using my equipment. So that's all. I'm not claiming anything other than that this is just what I did in my experiment. This is the results that I got. I'm just showing you and sharing it with you, and not making anything more of it other than just showing you what I did. So it's got written on here 114 grams, but for my experiment I got 120 grams, which is actually a bit more, but it still works at 1.16 pence per gram. And for the standard size, it's got written 90 grams. It actually turned out in my instance 95 grams, so it was getting a bit more, but came in at 0.94 pence per gram. So normally, well, I can't really say normally, but one might think that the bigger one may be the better bargain. You might think that you would get a better bargain with getting the king size rather than the smaller one. But it turns out that you're getting a better bargain with the smaller one. So even although it's claiming to be 90 grams, you're getting an even better bargain going by what it's got written on there by getting the smaller one, because it's coming in at 1 pence per gram for the standard size. But in this instance, that's just what's got written on there, and that's the price that it was quoted. So that I could quote you that because they've written that. I'm not quoting it, I'm only quoting what and reading off it here and what I've been charged. Right, so it works in it just by what's been written. It actually works in cheaper getting the smaller one. But with the experiment that I done and using the apparatus, well, the methods that I done it, I mean, okay, there's hardly anything in there anyway. Let's just say that stuff absorbs water, which means it'll just stick to everything. But anyway, besides that, even though I was getting a wee bit more, an extra 5 grams, an extra 6 grams in that instance, it still works in cheaper. But it surprised me really, because I was in the supermarket with my mate, and he was saying to me that, didn't be fooled by it. So I just said, oh right, okay, well, I'll go and try it out for myself. I bought one of each, and this is the results I got. Failing that, prior to that, I never really gave it much thought. I just didn't have the time, to be honest. I've been that busy, so I just never really got. But I just wanted to share to you what I found here with the 2 pot noodles that I bought in this instance, and the prices obviously at the time of doing this experiment, and the equipment that I used. So I'm not going to quote anything, and just only showing you what I found when I done it my way. So just thought I'd mention that. So just to make it very clear, these scales aren't certified for anything like that. I'm not making anything of this other than just a video for viewing purposes only. That's all it is, just to show you what I done, and not making anything more of it than that. It's just simply for viewing purposes only, entertainment if you will, if you want to call it that. So I'll just make that clear. So it's time to get those scoffed and get them eaten, because they're delicious, by the way. The pot noodle is a popular snack and are sold in many different shops. They've been around for many years. The prices may vary from different shops and supermarkets. They are sold individually or in bulk, such as 4-packs. There are so many different flavours, and there was even a rice version as well at one time. I don't know if it still is around or not. There have been many variations of pot noodle over the years, from the early ones I remember back in the 80s. in the 1980s. Some of the early ones I remember were flavoured beef and tomato in a brown container, chow mein in the darkest blue container, chicken and mushroom in a green container, and the curry one in the yellow container, like that I used in the experiment. I think there were others as well, such as a prawn cocktail one in a pint container, if I remember correctly. I personally enjoy a pot noodle as a wee snack. I hope you enjoyed my short video, and if you wish, you could comment, like, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.